Fáilte roimh go léir, go clár na seachtaine sa sra Matt and Michael's lockdown. Welcome to Trim, this first week in July. The town is looking very well at the moment, especially all the lovely flowers, so well looked after by the local authorities and by Trim Tidy Towns people. We have the usual mix this week. Matt sings a song about wearing red feathers. I read a nonsense poem. I know some people think all poems are nonsense. We have some musings from the diary of Paddy Smith, and we take a visit to Trim Haymaking Festival. We'll start with a few verses of the local song The Old Ivied Cottage Near Trim by Matt.
Dear home of my childhood, wherever I wander, though my life's cup with sadness be filled to the brim, in darkness or sorrow my heart will grow fonder, and cling to that old ivied cottage near Trim. Now fill up your glasses, my lads and my lasses, fill them all up till they flow to the brim, where'er you'd be toasting green Erin forever, and toast to that old ivied cottage near Trim. Oh, never again at a race fair or meeting shall I join with the boys for a real Irish spree, to while the gay hours with music and dancing, our light hearts o'erflowing with innocent glee.
A few weeks ago we had a poem by Lewis Carroll, which was the pen name of Charles Dodgson, the Victorian poet and writer, who's especially known for his children's stories, Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. This poem, which is a nonsense poem, is from Alice Through the Looking Glass, and it's full of made-up words by Lewis Carroll himself. Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome rats outgrabe. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jub-jub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the man some foe he fought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the jabberwock, with eyes of flame, came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went gallumping back. And hast thou slain the jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frab you stay, calloo calais, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome rats outgrabe.
Greetings again, one and everybody, one and all, and also hello to Paddy and Michael. Seems I haven't seen anybody for a little while. I've been all wrapped up in these European football games. I got very little else done, I have to say. Anyway, I have a song at the ready. It's a song that poor Guy Mitchell used to sing, and I was reminded of it when Paddy's story last week. I think it was last week. He told us the story about an electrician climbing a vertical pole with foot irons. Well, the man to whom he referred was in fact an old cousin of my own and a friend of Paddy's, Ollie O'Reilly. That reminded me of Ollie for a different reason, because I associate Ollie definitely with climbing poles, but also with whistling songs. And I don't think I ever saw Ollie going up a pole without whistling a song. And this is one of the songs indeed Ollie might have been whistling in days gone by. And which reminds me to say that, when was the last time you heard a man walking down the street whistling a song? Long time ago. They don't do it anymore because I don't think songs are written in tuneful style that can be whistled easily anyway. Anyway, some of us are getting beyond whistling. Here goes with She Wears Red Feathers on the Hooly Hooly Skirt.
She wears red feathers on the hooly hooly skirt. She wears red feathers on the hooly hooly skirt. She lives on just coconuts and fish from the sea, with a rose in her hair and a gleam in her eye and a love in her heart for me. I work in a London bank, respectable position. From time to 3 they serve you tea but ruin your disposition. Each night at music halls, rather lost I seem, and once a pearl of a native girl came smiling right at me. She wears red feathers on the hooly hooly skirt. She wears red feathers on the hooly hooly skirt. She lives on just coconuts and fish from the sea, with a rose in her hair and a gleam in her eye and a love in her heart for me. Goodbye to the London Bank. I started in a sailing. The 14th day from Mandalay, I spied her from the rail, and she knew I was on my way. Waited and was true. She said, "You son of an Englishman, I dream each night of you." She wears red feathers on the hooly hooly skirt. She wears red feathers on the hooly hooly skirt. She lives on just coconuts and fish from the sea, with a rose in her hair and a gleam in her eye and a love in her heart for me. I went to her ma and pa and said I loved her only, and they both said she would be wed. Oh, what a ceremony! An elephant brought her in, placed her by my side, while 6 baboons got out bassoons and played "Here Comes the Bride." I'm back here in London town, and though it may sound silly, she's here with me, and you should see us walk down Piccadilly. The boys at the London Bank kinda hold their breath. She sits with me and sips her tea, it tickles them to death. She wears red feathers on the hooly hooly skirt. She wears red feathers on the hooly hooly skirt. She lives on just coconuts and fish from the sea, with a rose in her hair and a gleam in her eye, the love in her heart for me. Now, that was that one. Thank you.
Yes, Matt, that was lovely. Just thinking there, I've never gone out with a girl who wore a, what did you call it, a hula skirt. But I was watching a great movie last night, a real old one, the John Wayne movie. She wore a yellow ribbon. Never gone out with a girl who wore a yellow ribbon either, but some of the music has got into my head from that movie. She wore a yellow ribbon. Anyway, here's my diary for the week. Monday the 14th of June. More new season potatoes today. bought again from the stall at the side of the road, just a mile from the town on the Navan Road. Very pricey still, but as Mary often says, we don't drink or smoke, so what? It's Queens they're selling now. 4 weeks ago it was Premier potatoes. The price was €9 per 2 kilos. 2 weeks ago it was down to €6 for 2 kilos. Today €5 for 2 kilos. I said to the girl in the stall, maybe if I hang around for 10 minutes or so the price might come down again, do you think? She smiled politely at my joke, but I don't mind. I've kind of got used to that reaction to my humour over the years. The main thing is we enjoyed the potatoes for our dinner. New potatoes and butter. Queens, fit for a king. Wednesday the 16th of June. Heard on the radio today, deteriorating, and particularly. People's speech is definitely deteriorating, particularly when I'm listening. It's not right, you know. I like to shave every day, unlike certain other people of our acquaintance. Every day, even during the lockdown when we were going nowhere. I've nothing against people who don't shave, but I do think it's the civilized thing to do. I'm talking about this because we've been having interruptions to our water supply for a while now, and I sometimes end up having to use hot water from the kettle, pouring it into the wash hand basin. The only trouble is the stopper in the wash hand basin doesn't quite fit the plug hole. It's slightly too big actually, and I haven't managed to get a stopper that fits perfectly. Story of my life. So I have to top up the hot water in the basin from the kettle, mix in some cold water from a bottle of water, and then keep doing that throughout the operation. Life is not simple, is it? It reminds me of those sums we used to learn in Mr. Riggs's maths class, algebra. Let x equal the amount of hot water in the basin, y is the amount of cold water needed to be added to bring it to the required temperature, and z is the amount of water that leaks out at the rate of so many millilitres per minute. Calculate how long it takes to shave without cutting yourself. Answer in minutes and seconds to the nearest bit of stubble. You know what? I'm half tempted to grow a beard, but then I'd begin to look like other people on this programme.
Here's another poem of mine, and this is called Keeping Trim. And it's about walking every day around about Trim on various little routes, keeping trim. It's ages since I walked a direct route from home to the church where I say a quick prayer for Michael Woods, who chose the original windows and died in 1920. I've thought of calculating how many different routes I've walked from Avondale to St. Patrick's, but never have. I try to make each day different, have the time, need the exercise. I often stray among estates I never thought to visit, adding to the uncertainty and fear. They advise me to walk the path on the riverside, where you can see trees, the Boyne, sheep and lambs. It's clean, hard-surfaced, planned, but I'm not interested. I prefer streets where you meet the people. I used to smile at everyone, those I knew and those I pretended to know. But now I pretend to smile behind my mask, as they do too, I'm sure, and they're difficult to recognise. It's still good to meet them. I think I taught her son. He works in Longwood, or Rathmaline. Does she live in Avondale? He won a medal, or should have. I thought he was long dead. If I approach the church from the south, I meet school children. They have no idea who I was. Neither have I. To tell the truth, nowadays it's as often the hotel cafe as the church. If you meet me as I crisscross the network, smile. I'll see it in your eyes. And when I'm gone, you might catch a glimpse. At the corner near the credit union, crossing the street at the traffic lights, there or here in a line, a sequence, trying to withdraw currency from the cash machine near the hardware shop, or leaving the church by the front door. That's the lot for this week. We hope you've enjoyed our poems, songs, musings and everything else. We look forward to seeing you again next week. In the meantime, hold firm, stay safe and God bless. We end with another verse or two from the old Ivy Cottage near Trim, sung by Nat.
Never again over Porchy's green meadows shall I roam with my Colleen so fair by my side, where King John's hoary castle throws forth its broad shadows and darkens the sheen of the Boyne's silvery tide. When at last my poor sad heart in deathless devotion. When at last I am sleeping in death cold and grim, shall my soul wing its flight o'er the broad bounding ocean, way back to that old ivied cottage near Trim.